Hi everyone. Since this is the Christmas season, I thought of changing my location a little bit. So here it is. Ta-da! Well, y'all might be busy with wrapping papers or making some Christmas goodies, but still, just a reminder, y'all have to keep in touch with your studies as well, right? So if you didn't watch my previous video, I'm Rotaract Deomin Pereira from NSPM Green University with Road to A+, and I'm in charge of doing your grade 10 science. So today we are meeting with the second session of the first lesson, and in the previous video we did the first session of the first lesson. So I'll share my screen first and then let's go through the content. So in the first session, we completed carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. So today we are starting from water and then minerals and then vitamins. Mm, let's go through the presentation. Uh, so I have made you all this presentation. I'll go from the start. So this presentation includes all the special and important points in the lesson. So this will be very helpful for you all. So you better go through the first video and then come to this video, the second one. So we did up to nucleic acid, and then from today we are gonna start from water. So you all know what is water, right? Because 3/4 of the surface of the earth has covered from water, right? So the highest proportion of the body mass of living organisms is composed of water, and water is an inorganic compound. You all know that, and this is a most essential medium for maintenance of living beings. And this and the composition of water is very simple. Like H2O, there are 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule. And then this important in many biological functions. You all will learn this. And then 2/3 of the body weight of most organisms is water, right? So in this one, in your textbook, this has given as a grid, okay, importance of water. So first point as a good solvent, second point as a coolant, third point as a high cohesive and adhesive force, fourth point as differential expansion in freezing. So the first point as a good solvent, we can take water as a good solvent because it provides medium for biochemical reactions taking place inside your body, right? You just think now there are so many components which we need for the survival of our body, like sodium, potassium, phosphorus. If these elements were presented in our body in solid forms, like how they can do their functions and how they can transport from one end to the other end, no they can't. But water is present in water is present as a main medium inside our body. All these compounds and all these chemicals have dissolved in this water medium, right? Therefore it's really easy to transport, and it's really easy to function it, right? Therefore water provides a medium for all these biochemical reactions taking place inside our body. And then this is a main constituent in the extracellular fluids for organisms, right? Water is helping for the passing of excretory materials from our body, like fecal matter, right? Because it's really easy to discharge all these matters from our body when it get dissolved, not dissolved actually, with the water. It's really easy to discharge. That's why all our parents and doctors, they ask us to drink a lot of water, right? And this very important in respiration of aquatic flora and fauna, right? Since the oxygen dissolves in the water, it's really easy for the breathing function of aquatic flora and fauna. You just think, you may be thinking like, but fish, they can come to the surface of water, surface of the water body, and they can breathe, right? But what about the plants? What about the animals who are living on the ground, on the like in the bottom of the water bodies? They can't come. They can't come to the surface of the water body. Plants can't move. You all know that. So oxygen is dissolving in the water, right? So it's really easy to breathe for aquatic flora and fauna, right? Then the second point, as a coolant, right? This is due to specific heat capacity, and in your textbook they have mentioned it. Amount of heat needed to increase temperature by 1 degree Celsius in 1 kilogram of mass, right? So this applies for warm-blooded animals, because our body temperature will never get a fluctuate with the change of the environment, right? In mammals, the body temperature will never get change with the environment, but cold-blooded animals, their body temperature get changed with the environment, right? Mammals and birds are warm-blooded, and all the other varieties are cold-blooded. Well, then the third factor is high cohesive and adhesive force. First, you all have to know what is cohesive and what is adhesive, right? So cohesive means attraction of water molecule and the other water molecule, right? It's like this. You just think this is as one water molecule and this is another water molecule. The bond create the bond creates between these two molecules are called cohesive, right? And then adhesive means water molecule and another surface. The bond makes between one water molecule and the other surface, right? Um, so with this, so this helps for the capillary action in plants and also the transportation of blood inside our body, right? Due to the cohesive forces, there is something called blood inside our body, right? Because the main medium of blood is water. And then because of the adhesive force, it's really easy to transport all these hormones, vitamins, and then what else, nutrients, to relevant locations. And then the fourth point is differential expansion in freezing, right? So in this one, y'all can see in the second diagram, this one, expansion in freezing. Here's a ice cube, right? In normally in winter seasons in other countries, in winter season, on like when you take these water bodies, you just think a huge river, right? Aquatic flora and fauna, all these animals and plants are surviving under the water because the water forms a kind of thick layer, ice layer on its surface, and water remains in the liquid form at the bottom, right? So it is really helpful for aquatic flora and fauna to live under the water, right? Density of water is actually higher than the ice, right? Density of water is actually higher than the density of the ice, right? So that's why water keeps under, and the ice come upon the water, right? Because of that density thing. Yeah, let's go to minerals. So minerals is important as a nutrient constituent for survival, right? Uh, from water to minerals, okay? Minerals is the third one in today's session. So absorbed as trace or macro elements into the body, and elements needed in the higher amounts are called macro elements. And my video here, okay. And then elements needed in smaller amounts are called trace elements, right? Macro, just think macro means huge, macro, right? Trace means micro, in smaller quantities, right? So elements need in higher amounts are called macro, and then elements need in small amounts are called trace elements, right? 7% of the body weight is minerals, and then 3/4 of the above amount is calcium and phosphorus. These are some of points they can ask in your MCQs, so you all better go through all these things. Okay, so in elements, now we are going to investigate elements actually. So functions of minerals in human body, and then at the latter part of the lesson, we have to learn functions of minerals in plants also. So in human body, the first given element is potassium. So the features are control the ionic balance of the fluid in a cell for the activity of heart and muscles, transmission of nerve impulses. Deficiency symptoms are weakening of muscles and psychological disorders. Next one is sodium, right? So the sodium is sodium means salt, right? So for our body, we take sodium as salt. So the features are it activates enzymes and then constituent of digestive juice, and then to maintain constant osmotic pressure in cells, and the last point, the transmission of nerve impulses. And then the deficiency symptoms are respiratory disorders, cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. Nausea means it's like morning sickness. You feel vomitish like that. And then this is osmotic pressure, just a diagram for y'all. There's a semi-permeable membrane. And then the high concentration of solvent goes through the semi-permeable membrane to the other side. So magnesium. Magnesium, constituent of bones and teeth, of course. So to control nerve activity in skeletal muscles and then help in metabolic activities. And then the deficiency symptoms are high heartbeat and nerve irritability. So calcium is much familiar for you all. So growth of bones and teeth, blood clotting, proper functions of nerves, milk production, and absorption of vitamin D. And the deficiency symptoms are weakening of bones and teeth and growth disorders, right? You all know a main component of teeth and bones is calcium, right? So phosphorus, this helps for the growth of bones and teeth, and as a constituent of nucleic acid, and then for carbohydrate and fat metabolism, and then instant release of energy in muscles and nerves. And then the deficiency symptoms are weakening of muscles and psychological disorders. Iron, so synthesis of hemoglobin, storage of oxygen in muscles, and as a constituent of enzymes. So I have given you all a diagram. You all can see what is anemia. Anemia means that disease comes from the deficiency of iron, and then the sleepiness, hyperactive nature, weakness in psychological developments. Iodine, this synthesizes thyroxine hormone, and then deficiency symptoms are affects the development of intelligence, lethargic attitude towards studies, and limits body weight. right? This is called thyroid. This is thyroid actually. Okay, then functions of minerals in plants. Nitrogen is the first one. In here, I have given you all liquid nitrogen, okay? Liquid nitrogen, but there are so many types of nitrogen. So here I have given you all liquid nitrogen. So we can take nitrogen as a constituent of amino acids, proteins, nucleic acids, and chlorophyll. And the deficiency symptoms are retardation in growth, chlorosis in mature leaves, right? So retardation in growth, here y'all can see without nitrogen, the plant is very small, but with nitrogen, this has grown very nicely and in very nice green color also there. So chlorosis means the plant becomes yellow, okay? Right, phosphorus. So phosphorus as a constituent of nucleic acid and ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. ATP, y'all will learn that actually ATP in cellular respiration, okay? So deficiency symptoms are retarded growth of roots and red and purple patches on leaves. So here you can see in the leaf, in this leaf, red and these purple patches are there, right? That is due to phosphorus deficiency. And potassium. So this helps in the protein synthesis and opening and closing of stomata. Deficiency symptoms are chlorosis in leaves. That means the leaves turn into yellow in color. Yellow and brown patches on leaves. I have given you all a clear diagram. Yellow and brown patches on the leaves, right? Stomata open and stomata closed, right? This is the stomatal opening and closing, right? Just extra knowledge. Iron, synthesis of chlorophyll and synthesis of respiratory enzymes. Deficiency symptoms are chlorosis in tender leaves, right? Tender leaves, not in mature leaves. In an iron deficiency, it always happens chlorosis in tender leaves, right? You all can see in this tomato plant, the tender leaves in Sinhala Dalu, Gaswala Dalu, these tender leaves have turned into yellow in color. And next one is calcium. So this is a component of cell wall and maintain the structure and functions of plasma membrane and helps for the activity of enzymes, right? Deficiency symptoms are dying of tissues at the tips of the leaves. So y'all can see the difference between of these three leaves. These tips, these tips have turned into brown something in color because of the dying of tissues. And then zinc. Zinc is in silver color actually. So it helps for the activity of most enzymes and synthesis of chlorophyll. And the deficiency symptoms are dead cells and tissues throughout the plant and extra thickness in leaves. Can you all see when the zinc is sufficient in the plant, it's a normal one, and then in the deficient stage, the plant leaves have turned into something white in color. So that's called the deficient. Sulphur. Sulphur is a really nice one, but it gives a chalky smell when it's burning. But in person, I really like this. I really like the color of this element. So as a constituent of amino acids and proteins, so the deficiency symptoms are chlorosis in veins and areas between veins. Here y'all can see like the leaf has turned into yellow in color, right? Chlorosis means the leaf turned into yellow color, right? So in sulfur deficiency, chlorosis happens in the areas between veins. You all have to remember that. And these are some pictures. And to the last point, right? Vitamins. So vitamins are organic components important in biochemical reactions. And there are two vitamin groups according to the solubility in water. And these vitamins are needed for the activities of our human body. So vitamins are organic compounds which are dividing into two, soluble in water and insoluble in water. But these insoluble vitamins, insoluble vitamins are soluble in fat, right? So soluble in water, vitamin B and vitamin C, and insoluble in water, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E. So just a small trick, y'all can memorize this insoluble water vitamins as KADE, right? KADE. Vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E are insoluble in water, and y'all can remind this, y'all can memorize this as KADE. Okay. Okay, vitamin B. First, we are talking about the vitamins soluble in water. So vitamin B and C. From that, first we are talking about vitamin B. So the uses are maintenance of nerves to maintain a healthy skin, formation of bone marrow, maturation of red blood cells, and antibody production, right? So deficiency symptoms are beriberi, this one, and then anemia, dryness of skin, change in complexion, that means your skin, that means the color of the skin, and then reduction in antibody production. Very critical. So vitamin C. Vitamin C always reminds you a bag of orange. I know that. So that's why I included this picture. So the uses are it keeps skin healthy and to form enamel of your teeth and to synthesize collagen fibers. And the deficiency symptoms are weakening of gum means this one in our mouth, the gum means this one. So and internal bleeding and delays recovery from diseases and scurvy, right? And here now we are coming to the vitamins which are insoluble in water but they're soluble in fat. So vitamin K, the uses of vitamin K is to produce components needed for the blood clotting, and then the deficiency symptoms are delays blood clotting. So vitamin A uses formation of visual pigments important in eye vision and to keep skin healthy and fair. And the deficiency symptoms are night blindness, beetle patches in the eye. Here I have given you all a diagram. And the dryness in the skin, blisters on knees and elbows, and diseases associated with respiratory tract. And then vitamin D, uses of vitamin D is controls absorption of calcium and phosphorus, and the deficiency symptoms are rickets, right? Your legs become like curvy, right, like brackets. Vitamin E, uses of vitamin E is growth of tissues and cells, and then the deficiency symptoms are premature of birth, this one, and then weakness in cell division, increased rate of breaking down of red blood cells, weakness in reproduction. So this is the end. So this is the end of my presentation, and I'll do a small recap. Means we did carbohydrates and then proteins, yeah, lipids and then nucleic acids, and then we discussed all the structures of that, and what else, the functions, all these things. So you all better go through the first video, will be really important for you all. And then so hope you all enjoyed this session, actually the first lesson, and I hope this was very helpful for you all. So comment below, put a comment below if you all have any problem regarding the first lesson. And so we'll be meeting with the second lesson in the next video, motion in a straight line. Stay tuned and study well. Goodbye and stay safe and Merry Christmas. Thank you very much.